Each year in the United States, more than 1.5 million people are diagnosed with cancer, and more than 500,000 die from it. There are more than 100 types of cancer. Any part of the body can be affected, and virtually every person in the country has been impacted in their family or community by the effects of the disease. For 38 years, the Purdue University Center for Cancer Research has been an ally to the state and the nation in cancer research. More than 100 scientists at Purdue are collaborating with experts worldwide to make discoveries. 9 such researchers had their discoveries patented last year. 14 drugs discovered at Purdue are currently in clinical trials. Earlier this year, the Purdue University Center for Cancer Research had its designation as a certified cancer center extended by the National Cancer Institute, who also noted that the Purdue Center is poised to move to a new level of national impact in drug discovery and development. And we'll talk about that work on this edition of Primetime 39. And good evening, I'm Bruce Haines. It is a pleasure to welcome Dr. Timothy L. Ratliff, who is Professor of Comparative Pathobiology Education at Purdue University, and the Robert Wallace Miller Director of the Purdue University Center for Cancer Research. Dr. Ratliff, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We are taken with this idea of doing research. Can imagine lots of centers across the country that are engaged in these things. Purdue has a distinction of being one of 7 basic research cancer centers. Describe what that means.
Well, it's a very unique and honored position for us to be in, to be with one of only 7. But what we do is really develop the tools that physicians use. So we fill the toolkit with drugs and imaging agents and early detection agents. They then use them in the clinic and take care of the patients with them.
And this has been the work that's gone on for nearly 4 decades or so now. And the history of the center getting its genesis not long after President Nixon declares the war on cancer back in the early 70s.
That is very true. We're among the first to be designated by the National Cancer Institute, and we've been funded continuously since that first designation in 1978. We're very proud of that.
Man. We noted the number of scientists involved in the development of that toolkit, and I was fascinated by the breadth of tools that you can that are hiding under the lid. This interdisciplinary approach to developing the tools to attack cancer as it surfaces. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, we have faculty members from 19 different departments that are in our cancer center, and this represents 6 different colleges across campus. So we pull together expertise that's very broad so that when we have a problem, someone there has the ability to help us with it. I can't be a person who knows everything, engineering, medicine, immunology, but we have people in all of those areas and we all work together on a problem. And then by doing that, we're able to work much faster and accomplish the task.
For example, engineering and veterinary medicine finally having a chance to have lunch together.
It is very true. So you know, pets have cancers too. So that's, we're able to develop imaging agents with these engineers. They can help us image the cancers, and then we can detect them early in the pets. We develop new drugs. We can use them in the pets, and the pets really benefit from that tremendously, and it prolongs their life. But they also then serve as like a platform for us to then move those drugs into the clinic. We prove a principle that it really works on these pets, and then we move into the clinic with the same drugs.
Man. In that collaborative work, this is now, thanks to technology, I'm sure too, it's now a global conversation, probably has been for quite some time, but the dialogue and the discovery and the detection all seem to all be accelerating at perhaps in and around the same level, so it's got to be an exciting time for all this.
It's an extremely exciting time. There's technology available to us that interlinks the world of scientists. We have international groups. We have an international breast cancer symposium that will be held in another week. This is our 5th annual one. But beyond that, just the beautiful technology that's available to us to actually address important questions in cancer, to learn more about the cancer cell, to be able to develop more new drugs. Opportunity abounds right now.
I know that often pictures speak 1,000 words. I'd like to have a few words from you about this picture that shows a bomb hovering over what appears to be a pretty viable target.
Well, that's a cancer cell, and that little blue structure you see is a marker on the cancer cell that we target. So it's uniquely expressed on the cancer cell, and we send a bomb in there directly to that protein and attack the cancer cell and kill it directly. So the advantage to that is, you know, you don't have all the problems with loss of hair, you don't have issues with losing your immune system and your protection against infection. So we really specifically kill the kind of cells we want to kill.
Would you say that's, in general, at the most high level, one of the most vital discoveries along the way, where it had been, and perhaps in some cases still is, that I'm getting chemotherapy and I know the bad stuff's going to be attacked, but I should brace myself because some good cells are going to go down too?
That's the way it is right now. Our technology is moving into the clinic and it's getting close to being available to everyone. But even though the current chemotherapies kill a lot of normal cells, physicians today have many more ways to control that and keep you from having any major problems.
Okay. The discoveries and these advances are worth iterating. We will go through those. And yet there are perhaps folks watching who would say, get to the big question. And it's the question that comes from the back seat on most long summer car trips as a family. Are we there yet?
Yeah, well, we're closer than we've ever been, and we have opportunity to move even closer to make this disease a disease that's just a chronic situation, so that there's no survival problem. And today, you know, the lifespan of anyone diagnosed with cancer is tremendous. People are surviving much longer, and our therapies are much better than they've ever been before.
But and in fact, insert some very encouraging news here as we move to some of these discoveries. The mortality rate is in decline, it seems, writ large, for men, women, children from like the last decade or so, again from NCI data. And that if you take corrective behavior, maybe the awareness curve is finally bending toward the prevention finish line, that folks are aware when they hit certain mile markers in their age, they should do a double check on themselves?
Absolutely. There are a lot of screening tests out there that are available for people, and I think people are using those much better. We're diagnosing early, we're treating much earlier. The mortality rate has decreased for many years now, and it is really on the decline. The rate of cancer is increasing because our population increases.
Okay.
Is increasing, especially the older individuals. This is a disease of older men and women, and for the most part. So we're going to see those rates go up, but we're able to treat them a lot better than we ever have before. And
I know that you know of what you speak with amongst your own credentials to be a part of the team that has in fact developed the test used to detect prostate cancer.
Yes, I was very fortunate to be part of the team that actually discovered and validated the prostate-specific antigen, or PSA test, for detection of prostate cancer. That's been a fantastic test that truly identifies the cancer. It's a little nonspecific, but with that, along with biopsies, you can detect the cancer, and we've seen the death rate fall quite dramatically since that test was implemented.
You know, this puts me in mind of something from the World Health Organization that said more than 30% of cancer could be prevented mainly by not using tobacco, having a healthy diet, being physically active, and moderating the use of alcohol.
He's exactly right. Watch your weight, get exercise, don't use tobacco, and that cancer rate would drop dramatically, 30 to 40%, as you say.
Until that time, chemistry can be our friend. Medical work can still move forward. And when the National Cancer Institute says that the center at Purdue is now poised for making some big discoveries, and we talked about the drugs in trial, There's a graph to share which talks, in fact, even again, without getting, if you can't make out all of the small lettering, the takeaway from this is there's a lot in the pipeline.
Yeah, we've got over 30 drugs in the pipeline. We've got 14 in clinical trials. We've spun off companies to develop these technologies and take them across the finish line, which is FDA approval. And we're discovering many more drugs that aren't even on this graph right now. There's a cutoff for us to put drugs on the graph. They have to show efficacy in animal systems. So we have many other drugs that are in very early stages of development. So we have a very strong program.
Clinical trial tends to be about how long, and is this also some of the discussion of getting the good stuff out of trial in a thoughtful, deliberate fashion, but let's give me patience, but now. I mean, if there's something really good, to get it from the lab to the doctor's office as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's a process that takes a number of years. So we discover the drug, but then we have to validate the drug in animal systems. And then once we do that, we're ready to then produce the drug in a way that we can take it into clinical trials. And there are various stages of clinical trials. The first thing we want to do is be sure it's safe. So we take a very cautious approach, very low doses, and slowly escalate to determine that the drug is safe for human use.
Okay. And along the drug development pathway is the technology of discovery, of where doctors can be doing their best work, and some of these improvements are stunning, as we'll show in this next one. Biodynamic imaging.
This is a tremendous technology that was developed to detect a response to chemotherapy. So within 24 hours, we can know whether these cancer cells respond to therapy or not. And right now, the way we know that you respond is you take a whole course of therapy and then get imaging afterwards to see if the tumor has shrunk. So we think that this is going to have a tremendous impact. We've got it into the clinic now, and we're assessing ovarian cancer and pancreatic cancer in collaboration with the Indiana University School of Medicine and Simons Cancer Center. So we are looking forward to getting this technology out there for use.
There is another imaging, there are probably a whole lot of them, but this particular one also seems to help line out the roadmap for where best work can happen, and this was with brain cancer.
Exactly. So this is imaging that's developed. It detects metabolites in cancer, and cancer cells have different metabolites than are present in normal cells. So we can tell specifically where the cancer is. And this particular imaging is helping the surgeon know where the brain cancer is so that they can take out only the brain cancer and leave the important cells behind.
In breast cancer imaging, another set of visuals to share. Same general idea, but applied in a different fashion.
This is the same general idea. So we have a unique technology that again detects metabolites in these breast cancer cells. And what we're doing, we have an instrument now adjacent to the clinic down at the Indiana University Simon Cancer Center, and we are detecting cancers as the tumor is removed by the surgeon. We make sure that all the tumor is taken out, that there's no cancer on the edges. Mm-hmm. And so if there is, the surgeon can then remove all the rest of the cancer. So we get it all the first time.
Which I believe the concern in the past had been taking out too much, or in order to ensure you got it enough, you had to take out all.
That's exactly right. And sometimes you'd send that tissue down to the pathologist, and they would take a look at it, and then they would say, oh, there's a little bit of cancer on the edge, so you didn't get it all. So then the patient would have to have radiation therapy and perhaps even chemotherapy. And by using this kind of instrumentation, we should be able to prevent that.
So back to the interdisciplinary approach, because we have the dynamics of technology and imaging and such that are now marrying in with biochemistry and I guess it just sort of seems like the sum of the parts is rather incredible.
Yeah, so the first imaging that I talked to you about, the biodynamic imaging, a physicist developed that, David Nolte. The second imaging, an analytical chemist, Graham Cooks. The third imaging, a biomedical engineer, Jishin Ching, developed those technologies. And so they are great at doing what they do, but applying that to the cancer arena and understanding the biology of the cancer really requires interaction with biologists like myself or others in our center. And together, we can get it into the clinic. So that's what we're doing.
There is another togetherness on campus that's going on, it seems, with under the banner of Purdue Moves. Share a little bit about that.
That's very exciting for us. As we've shared with you already, we have a lot of drugs that we've developed with 14 in clinical trials. And President Daniels saw that and thought, if we invest just a little bit more into that area, we can really drive that forward at a much faster pace. And so we're part of the Purdue Moves as drug discovery. We've had an investment from Purdue University. We're recruiting new faculty. We're buying new instrumentation. And we're doing things that we have to do to discover these drugs and move them into the clinic much faster.
The image here, it looks like a wonderful collaborative space in which to have such additional, as they say, the start of a beautiful friendship kind of thing.
Yes, that's the new Purdue University Center for Drug Discovery. As a new building that was built as part of the Purdue Moves component. We are recruiting new faculty and putting them in that building right now.
Wow. What of this structure here on campus?
This structure is an expansion for our cancer center in a partnership with Bentley Bioscience Center, and we occupied this last year. Brand new space, and allows us to bring new teams together to do more of that multidisciplinary research.
And if you are on campus anytime soon, then there is one additional structure which you like to call home, where all the mail goes. And
that's exactly right. This building, the Hanson Life Sciences building, is the home of our Center for Cancer Research. My office is there. If you want to come, knock on the door and we'll show you what we do.
And so much of it has received encouragement from the National Cancer Institute, an additional $8 million grant to expand that work.
Yes, we were just reviewed. A site visit team came to our center and spent a day with us just to make sure that we were spending everyone's money correctly and had good plans. They really liked what they saw, rated us as an outstanding center, and gave us $8 million to continue our work.
And then there is one where there was activity in Congress. There are lots of other things that are there to be acted on, but one of those deals with 21st century cures. This might be one to just study up on a little bit more at home to find out what more could be done to speed up those things around which the whole country could benefit.
That's a very important bill that's been passed by the House of Representatives. It offers a real big infusion of funds at a very critical time in cancer research. And it also offers funds to the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, to help them streamline the process so we can get those drugs in a lot faster. So it's a very important issue.
What's on the to-do list for you?
Cure cancer, to put it simply.
One item.
But as a lot of
which is a big item in and of itself.
It's a very big item. There are 100 different kinds, as you said. So we take it a step at a time. We develop new agents to detect these cancers more rapidly, agents to target them better and kill them faster. And that's what we're trying to do.
Which are, if there is such a thing as a ranking for this, are the ones that seem a little more difficult to get the mental and physical arms around as far as cancer as it surfaces in the body?
Well, all cancers need to be treated at various levels. Some, like basal cell carcinoma, little skin cancers that are just cut away, they're not going to create any major problem as long as you have those treated by a physician and removed. Mm-hmm. They're a nuisance more than anything else. But then you get malignant melanoma as a very potentially lethal disease, but we have really new treatments. One form is immunotherapy, which is the newest form of treatment that we're really amplifying. And this is just activating the body's immune system and having your own cells attack the cancer. And melanoma was the first cancer for which an immunotherapy protocol was approved.
So we do know from basic health in high school and elementary and such that our body does what it can to fight off disease and to fight off invaders and so on. But to put it in most simple terms, the cancer predominates in a space where what? It can override that immune structure?
So it's a very delicate balance. So a cancer cell from, say, a breast cancer, the immune system sees that as a breast cell. And so the body has many mechanisms to prevent your own immune system from attacking yourself, because that would kill you. So what we're learning is how to block certain steps that allow us to get the immune system to attack the cancer cell. And it's really a very, very exciting technology and great opportunities, and we're all working very hard to make that even better.
One other piece that seems that it has been a huge mover in this whole conversation, and we were touching on it earlier, is the idea of self-awareness. And perhaps the linking of research and technology with social service agencies, churches, schools, neighborhood associations, the idea of having free screenings for something, or to bring out a specific program, Super Shot Saturday. Let's get our immunizations. Yes. It seems like there is now additional help within a broad population to be able to help, say, I want to grab an oar, I want to help row with you.
Helping people be aware of what is available to them to help them detect cancer at a very early stage is very, very important. So screening for breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, you should all do that, and you should do it on a regular basis as outlined by your physician. The early detection makes easier treatment.
Next month, it seems to be a big one, particularly when one visits the center's website, and we'll put that contact information up in a moment. But there's a little space on the homepage that talks about the activities going on in October. You want to share a little bit about that?
We have a great relationship with our athletic department, and so we have what we call Hammer Down Cancer. It'll be a football game in which the football team comes out in special uniforms or with special bands and things like that. Last year they had a helmet that was especially painted for the Hammer Down Cancer Week. And so we go around, give talks, and try to make people aware of what's available to them. It's also Breast Cancer Month, and we have a lot of different talks going on during the month, the luncheons and things like that. Mm-hmm.
The prognosis for the coming year, what things should we see them in print in the headlines on the next big development or the next big treatment? Could we be able to read and then think, oh, I heard them talk about that on that show?
Well, there are many things that we have moving forward. We have a number of drugs that are in phase 3 clinical trials, so we're hoping that you will hear that the FDA has approved one of those drugs and that everybody in the world will have access to it then, or at least everyone in this country when the FDA approves it. And we also have some really unique technology, such as the biodynamic imaging, and we think that there's a real potential that could get in to the clinic very rapidly, so we're excited about that.
For those who are also watching and interested in the economic development aspects of all of this, the power of Indiana as a state with research activity at West Lafayette and elsewhere, this has to put Indiana on multiple maps simultaneously, I would think.
I tell you, our center alone, our scientists spun off 14 companies in the last 5 years. So that's totally new companies developing new technology, taking them down and developing an economic cash flow and jobs and everything. But more importantly, getting those technologies to the patients as quickly as possible.
And let us, before too much quickly passes, let us share with you the information where you can find out more about the Purdue University Center for Cancer Research, and located on campus. And of course, I guess your favorite search engine can get you there as well, but it's really pretty straightforward, cancer research.
Please contact us if you're in the area. We'd love to show you our center and what we do, so we look forward to meeting many of you.
Well, I congratulate you on the center's work and the opportunity to have it continue and to have that strong partnership with so many in the state and the nation. It improves our posture, and we're hoping it improves our physical and mental health as well.
Well, thank you. It's really a privilege to be here with you, and it's an honor to run this center, and I'm really proud of all the scientists and all that they're doing to make cancer something that we see in the rearview mirror.
There you go. Dr. Timothy Ratliff is a professor of comparative pathobiology education at Purdue University and is the Robert Wallace Miller Director of the Purdue University Center for Cancer Research. I'm Bruce Haines again. Doctor, thank you so much for all of us with Primetime 39. Thank you for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon.